Hi everyone, if you just tuned in, please subscribe to our channel. Also press on the notification and leave your comments. This is the RSS with HD. Hi, welcome back. This is Rashid, Salleh. Of course, joining me for the RSS with HD is the very affable Haresh Deol, who has had a clean cut, no more beard, which is really great. Finally. Yeah. Now, of course, joining us for today, as we promised, is a man all the way from Perth. He's Malaysian. He started his journalism career with the Malay Mail. Hi, Ghaz, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Now you've been in PR and of course went to pursue a career in Perth, Australia, which is where you're based now. You were also a former membership sales and service officer with Perth Glory FC, and also with Fremantle Dockers, and now you are the game day manager with Perth Heat Baseball Club. Now, coming from all the way from Malaysia. These are two sports that are not really, Malaysian kind of, how do you say it? Not really a favorite sport in Malaysia. How did you get from Malay Mail all the way to Australia?
Well, I always thought sports as a business. As a journalist, I was fortunate enough to learn how it is to give coverage to sports, especially those sports that really need it, for either sponsorship, for exposure, for awareness. And what I do, or what I did back in the day, I felt was not enough. So I jumped from the other side of the fence and got into sports PR. And sports PR as well is more also promoting it to media channels, to get to the fans, to the supporters. But then I also thought, the business needs to be run properly for the PR people to give it to the media people. So I got into sports business. I got into event management. I've got into sponsorship stuff and within the works. But then when I moved over here, it's a complete different world, of course. And what I learned in my experience probably doesn't apply. So I had to be on my feet. I had to have quick thinking. And sports is sports. You sell it. You want to sell out regardless of what sport is happening in the arena, on the pitch. Whether you win or not, you still have to sell tickets. You still have to get sponsors and all that. So going from one sport to another sport, you build a passion, a love for the game, but it's not really probably essential to have a love or being with the sport since day one. CEOs can be great CEOs not even knowing the industry because they just know well how to manage.
Now, obviously, have you started learning the sports? I mean, Haresh still, I don't know, Haresh, do you play football, Haresh? Do you?
Yes, I do. What?
I know you play basketball. He thinks he does. Ooh, okay. But did you pick up
I was just about to ask Ghaz, do you even know how to swing a bat?
Yes.
Over my time in baseball, I've learned I'm more of a catcher.
That's a safe answer.
Now, tell us what the difference is. I mean, I remember back in, and Haresh wrote about this, back in 2015, he wrote about you saying a club is a business and membership is a key income. What's the vast difference between what's happening in Australia and here in Malaysia?
Membership. That's it, full stop. Over here, there is a membership culture. If you want to support a team, and it is part of and parcel of the Australian life, you have a team, whether it's a footy club, a football club, a baseball club, a rugby club, you have your allegiance. Could be where you're born from, could be a generation, your father supported them, your grandfather supported them, or grandmother or mother, anything, it's it's to show your support, to show your passion, your love for the club. You become a member. Now that is a crucial part of clubs, of organization income. Okay, so you've got the crowd, you've got income as well with the crowd, and compare that to the leagues back home in Malaysia. It's probably just starting, but it's not as where it should be. And like I said in that article, fans should also need to be treated professionally. It's 2020 and we are still not even, heading that way collectively.
It's amazing that it's been 5 years already since I wrote that article, and it's been 5 years of harping about the same thing, about professionalism, about injecting some form of a membership culture, some form of alliance, following instead of the usual following that we have here, a more structured following, so to speak. And yet, till today, we don't see much of it.
But it's easier said, I mean, I think for me as well, I tried, okay, and it's hard to penetrate, okay. I tried to go back home and maybe start a culture, start something. But the powers has that control stuff. It's difficult to start something that could be the change in the game for the rest of its life, of its history. So the buy-in needs to come from all stakeholders, from owners, from board members, from everyone, which is not easy, because the culture is not there. Parting with money early in the season before getting the games, it's not something everyone can do. So there is a cultural issue there we need to tackle, but hopefully time will tell. We are moving forward with technology.
Right. Anyway, moving on. Whilst you're there, how's the situation with the coronavirus, the COVID-19, especially down in Perth?
Okay, so there's a difference, especially for Malaysians probably living in here. We see back home it's a lockdown. We don't have a lockdown per se. The border is locked down. So WA is locked down. Western Australia is locked down away from all the other states. But within ourselves as well, the regions are locked down. So there are 9 different regions. You can't travel, within regions. You have to go stay in your Perth. You stay in Perth. But you are advised not to go out unless needed. Back home. But then back home, of course, we've got roadblocks, we've got compounds now. You really you can't go out. Whereas here, it's much of an advice. Practice your social distancing. And make sure you wash your hands and be clean. So there's a difference when I go online or look at my family and friends back on social media, and I see they are stuck at home and this and that, and I actually can go for a walk without being caught or told off. But then there are things like today is the beginning of a long Easter weekend, So in the news they are actually telling people, okay, and it's an Australian thing to go to the beach for Easter, for Christmas. So when you head to the beach, they kind of want to stop what happened in Bondi, but they also understand people need to do their thing. So you say, okay, go to the beach, but maintain your social distancing. And if you don't, we will ban beaches completely. So there's a bit of a common sense that needs to apply, which is applied mostly. They've closed down the pubs, the bars, the restaurants, only dine out, take away, but people still need to practice it on their own.
But sports itself has been shut down, and there's no major mass gathering in stadiums and all that, yeah?
Yes. So only the footy tried to do round 1 with an empty stadium, but then things got a bit out of hand, or it was getting out of hand, and the government advised to completely stop it.
In what sense? How did it go out of hand? Sorry.
So at this is the point where probably the curve was not curving and it was just going up, So they played round 1 in an empty stadium, but then knowing before the game was played, and they also reduced the amount of each quarter, to make the game as short as possible. Even tried to house teams that are away, in the west to go and be on the east. But then, if they were going to ban interstate travel only down to essential travel for work or for health or anything, then why would a football team be flying in and out, interstate? Is that really essential? So yeah.
Okay, we've also heard a lot from obviously the ministers in Australia. They're slightly different but similar to the ones in Malaysia. Haresh, let's quickly talk to you about you meeting the new youth and sports minister. Can you tell us about him and of course the differences between him and everyone else? Of course, you did write this article here. He said that the MCO has allowed all of us to reset our lives, to find new ways of getting things done. And that was Datuk Sri Rizal, American. So, what is he like?
Well, to be honest, we can't compare. That's number one, and number two, I think it's too soon to say anything, whether it's to sing any praises or to offer any criticism about a man who just clocked in his 1 month in office on Friday. So I met him on Wednesday. We exchanged some views. He was eager to listen, and I hope it stays that way. We spoke a lot about sports industry. It was something that he was quite passionate about. He is looking at the wealth creation, basically providing job opportunities or any form of opportunities to enrich the youths especially. So his concept of sports industry is not just about the elite athletes, but mainly how it can, help every Malaysian out there who would be interested in sports and who can actually make a living out of sports. So that's a good sign because I think we are all tired of hearing people continuously going to the government asking for funds or asking for money or begging for money. So hopefully with the sports industry, you create a self-sustaining system.
Yeah. Before, I know we're running over time, but there's one thing that I've always wanted to know. Ghaz, obviously, we've got this youth and sports minister who looks like he's going to be concentrating more on the youth as opposed to the youth and sports. Australia has a very strong youth sports foundation. Is it because they're a lot more outdoorish? I mean, what is it with them that the differences between us and them in Australia?
I think before they go to industry, Australia has the culture. Sports is in their culture. They might not go to push their education after school or push their religious study after school, but they push their sports, be it in any form or kind. So that is instilled in the kid early, and it was instilled in them early. They really like battling it out on the ground, fighting and winning, and looking at the footy players becoming, heroes, flashy cars, beautiful wives and girlfriends, all that. Parents want their kids, so they push them early, and early you get to single out who's better, who's not, who has potential, who doesn't, and you band them together, you build them, and you aim for, of course, world glory. And when you make world glory, it trickles down back to the people, the families, the parents that push and then go like, it's possible. My neighbor down the road could be, a potential world-class champion, and, he just, he lives near me. So I feel that there's nothing stopping me as well. And I'm talking world champion. I'm not just talking, national champion. So the culture, it has to be there. So if we cultivate the culture, then the industry will automatically come because you've got the market. But if you want to cultivate the market and then there's no customers or no people down there, and whether they got money, they got no money, they got the education to do it, they got the time to do it, between all their heart, you got the facilities to do it, you don't even have all of that, and you want to put on the industry, that's just a shortcut to numbers on your portfolio to look sure like you look good in my opinion.
Wow, I can see you're fitting right in Australia then, so you must be really enjoying it. Your kids all settling in as well, and your wife?
Yeah. They go to school, they come back with a bit of accent, but I make sure the lang doesn't go.
What? Which accent? The Balakong accent or?
Ipo Malay.
Okay.
Sorry, I just had to slide that one in somewhere there. But just maintain your accent, and people will remember that you're from Malaysia. From Ipoh, yeah. Of course, if you'd like to know more about what's going on around Malaysia, do check out 2213's website as well, 2213.my. and they'll have daily updates for you, including what's going to be happening, whether we are extended or not. We will find out probably by this Sunday. We would know by now. But Ghaz, thanks very much for joining us. I'm sure we'll probably try and catch up with you again one of these days. Haresh, as usual, stupendous, going all the way to Putrajaya and no roadblocks, I hear. Is that true?
Following a particular route that, I was quite surprised actually. The whole of MR2 up until the Max Highway, there's not a single roadblock.
No, something for the police to think about.
Yeah.
and I want to say also thank you guys for inviting me to the show, and you guys are doing a really great job. I mean, without even you started this before this whole pandemic, and I really am very proud to actually be watching such a thing, such a show that's live, that's content, coming out from you guys. So good job, carry it on, and hope all the best.
Thank you. Just need sponsors now. Just joking. Okay, anyway, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much, Ghaz, and also Haresh for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification. Of course, for Haresh and myself, we'd like to thank Amnig for sponsoring our apparel.
Yeah.
They've been really, really good to us, especially during this MCO as well. And Ghaz, and don't forget, if you want to get GZ Sports or GZ Sports, you'll have to what's your Twitter handle?
Ghaz Ramli.
Ghaz Ramli, okay. Go and catch up if you want a t-shirt and see whether you can get discount. Is it Aussie dollars, is it?
Of course.
Okay, thanks guys.
Thank you.
To everyone out there, don't forget to leave your comments down there. This is the RSS with HT.